Hello, my name is Georgianne Ford with the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation. And today we have a special guest that I don't think we've had on before, and that's Linda Velez Galietta, she's actually one of our parent mediators for the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation. And Linda, I want to thank you for taking the time to come and meet with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And what we're hoping to do is just throw out some questions to you and have you share a little bit about the type of work that you do for the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation, how that's grown since it's probably started, how valuable that is to the program, and what do you most love about the type of work that you do? So why don't you just share with us, what is your role at the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation?
Sure. So my role at Alpha is to help parents come to an agreement based on what's in the best interest of their child.
You're actually part of the parent mediation program?
Correct. Yes, I meet with parents who are going through divorce, and we talk about parents decide on legal, physical custody of their child. We talk about visitations, what custody for them is going to look like in terms of the schedule. We talk about vacation time. We talk about before and after school care. And really, that's about it. We talk about holidays, and we try to
fall into, I'm sorry, how does this fall into the program? Is it the beginning, the middle, the end?
It's the beginning. It's the first step.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I get to meet with the couple first. And then after that, they have another meeting.
I think this is what really differentiates the Alpha Center personally, because this type of parent mediator coming in and helping us figure out the children, and I emphasize so much because I've met you before on the value of that. And what you bring to the table with that, getting people to just put aside their differences.
Oh yes, most definitely. Yeah. When we meet, we talk about, or I talk about, that we are meeting to really talk about, what is in the best interest of their child or their children. And I like to point out that although they know this, the children are the center, they're the most important. And so I feel that we always have to keep that in the forefront of our minds when we're discussing their child and what their schedule is going to look like. It's going to be very different for them. So we talk about a weekly schedule, and but reminding them again, you're doing this for your child. And even though they have many differences,
I'm sure
it's difficult at times, but what they do have in common is their child, and the love they have for their child, and the care they have for their child. And so it's always bringing them back to that point when we need to remember why we're even there to discuss their child. And so that always brings the couples, normally brings them together, because it's a reminder of what we're doing. We're just wanting their child to be, healthy, developmentally healthy. We want them to see that two people care for each other. And even though they're not together, they can still parent together. They can still co-parent together. They can still make rules together. They can still go to activities together. They can, some families enjoy celebrating birthdays together, holidays, but you can still do that together, even though you're going through the divorce process, even though you are divorced. And I think it opens up parents' eyes at times that it doesn't have to be the way they think it's going to be. It's a very relaxed atmosphere, a lot of conversation, wanting to know their child, get to know their child through them. What's the child's strengths? What's their weaknesses? Tell me a little bit more about who we're talking about, because, I want to know so I can help them. And so it's a meaningful, it's a 2-hour time frame, and it's a meaningful meeting. And we got a lot done during that time.
I'm guessing that by watching you describe it, I mean, you can already see how much you care about these children.
Mm-hmm.
And that alone would probably soften us up, if we were trying to come to terms with what was best for the child. Like I love the developmentally healthy piece.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's important. We just, want the children to develop as healthfully as we can. We want them to see that, there doesn't need to be any arguing. We need them to see that, both parents are on the same page, that they make decisions together, and to let the children know we're on the same team, we're making decisions together, even though we're not married, we're still your parents.
Right.
And so we do highlight that a lot in parent mediation. And that's what I do when I'm meeting with parents. I think it's really important for them to understand that they're still on the same team. They're still working together, and we're doing it for your children, for your child, for your children, because the child is the center of it all. And through divorce, the child is normally the person who is not thought about. So this, the parent mediation and this part of Alpha is a really special and unique component, something I never heard about. And it's truly beneficial. And I think it's just a really important piece for this process, because this process is difficult.
Because your piece is so important, and I just want people to understand, you come to this into this program to help the couples, not as an attorney mediator, but as an actual therapist with training, correct?
Yes, correct.
Tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, what makes you, how you got it, as parent mediator, you have a solid background to help people do that.
Sure. Well, I went to school for undergrad, so I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education. And then I went to school for my master's in counseling psychology. So I have a master's of science in counseling psychology. And I work, I've worked as a school counselor. I've worked in small group instruction, students reading and writing. I have worked in private practice. I see clients in private practice, working with individuals.
So is it usually like adolescents and children and also?
It's a bunch, yeah. It's there's adolescents, there's young adults, and there's adults. So it's just a wide population. So
clearly, I just wanted our audience to know the background that you have is that is so valuable to bring to the Alpha Center for all of us and for those couples that would not find that going through just any divorce mediation process.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that.
Yeah.
So I'm just, first of all, what I see is caring, compassion, and I'm guessing that comes out to the parents, and that, like I said, that probably brings comfort to them. How long have you been doing this?
It's been, I guess it's been about a year now where I've been doing this parent mediation. It's close to a year, not quite a year. And I've seen, many couples during that time. So it's definitely different than the therapeutic process, completely different component. And it's very enjoyable. It's, there's a lot of gratitude because you get to help people through this difficult process. And ultimately, that you're helping the child. And you just hope that parents can feel that it's just genuineness and just genuineness. There's pure empathy and, an understanding.
I think we can all see that you're fulfilled in this position, and that's so hard to find.
Yeah, it really is.
Know that you are making a big impact with the work that you do, and we thank you for that.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So I guess just to wrap things up, I want to thank you for taking the time to come and talk to us today. And anything else you want to share about the value of the parent mediation program, what you've seen?
I just see this, I'll just really reiterate that I feel this is a very unique piece to a mediation process. Normally, you think of divorce as very sticky and very complex and can be the unknown. People come in worried and they'll say, I'm just really worried right now. I'm nervous, don't know. So you try to obviously make them feel comfortable, because this is a different experience. It's not what one would think of like a typical, I guess, divorce litigation type of meeting.
Mhm.
This is, solely about the child. So again, this is a very unique, this is a service, that Alpha offers. And I'm grateful to be a part of it, because, I know ultimately children are getting to see what healthy relationships really can look like. And it doesn't have to be, as, has just really as awful as some divorces can be.
Right.
And children are stuck in the middle. And so it's just not like that. So,
Well,
this has been
thank you
experience.
for not just being present today, but for making the difference that you do make with the
Gosh, thanks.
Clients. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Any of you that have any questions, interest in finding out more about the Alpha Center and the services for the divorce mediation that they offer, 1-800-310-9085. Please give us a call. It's complimentary to have a conversation or to even come in for a consult. We look forward to hearing from you. Linda, thank you again.
Thanks so much.